Michelle thinks American men suck.
Let me warn you, your rage does not exist in a vacuum. If we don't get this election right, your wife, your daughter, your mother, we as women will become collateral damage to your rage. To the women listening, we have every right to demand that the men in our lives do better by us. We have to use our voices to make these choices clear to the men that we love. Our lives are worth more than their anger and disappointment.
What's that pitter-patter sound I'm hearing in the background? It's the footsteps of Barack running to vote for Trump. So, Kat, they know that they're having a hard time with men.
Right.
Doesn't seem like this is the right strategy.
No.
She basically says that they're hurting women by voting for Trump.
But I think they don't understand that where it comes from in the first place is that people are sick of being told how bad they are and talked down to, and you know, the condescension doesn't work. None of what they're doing really works. I mean, the Walls AOC live stream of them playing Madden together was supposed to be to get like dudes who like football on their side, and they did it during football. Like, who's consulting them on this stuff?
Yeah. It's a
woman, probably, also.
It's a gay man. Nothing wrong with that, by the way, Tyrus. The men who are the real danger aren't the criminals or the illegal aliens. It's the guys that don't vote the way you want them to.
The ignorance that she projected as if the men are the only ones angry in the house. So every man who's been in a house where inflation's high, the electric bill's doubled, you're not getting cheers from the wife and kids. They're complaining, they're suffering, you're hearing it every day. Men, for the most part, and I'm grouping here a little bit, and I don't like to group, but we tend to internalize things, we want to solve something.
Right.
Women tend to express their feelings and talk about how terrible it is, and the one thing the man does is when his wife or woman is complaining is he tries to fix it. The last 3.5 years, the complaints are there, the upset is there. I can't send my kids to school. My electric bill's this, and men can't solve it. So the anger is coming from the family. I can't solve the problems of my family. My wife's unhappy in her job because she's working an extra 20 hours a week, less time with the family. I'm taking a second job. We have no voice at our schools. So this anger, Miss Obama, is not one-sided. It's just the men are the ones trying to solution, and their solution is to vote for President Trump. And here's the thing, their women are backing them up. So take that little message, curl it up in a little box, and give it to Mr. Garrison.
You know, Ron, what Tyrus is saying is interesting. Men, if they can't solve the problem themselves, they have to find a leader that they can believe in to solve the problem. And it's like, it's just not going to be Kamala.
Well, I would associate myself with what he said. I think it's perfectly right. But I think what she just did, I mean, with that speech, it's just another illustration of how elitist the Democratic leaders are. They're snobs. Who is she to lecture the American men? It's just not her role. And this is among the reasons why men in droves, and Democratic women and men, are leaving the Democratic Party, because does nothing to do with bringing down the prices of groceries or the price of the gasoline or the struggles of their children maybe one day going to college or being able to afford a home. Those are the issues that matter to the American people, and, of course, the border and the other things. So I think that's really sort of capsulizes what's wrong with today's Democratic Party. Yeah, a bunch of snobs.
It's like... It also is like another example of it's somebody else's fault.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah.
That's the biggest challenge Kamala is running into. It's like she's vowing, if she gets elected, she's going to, fix the border, she's going to get the housing crisis under control, she's going to lower grocery prices. All of these problems didn't exist before she got into office. So you're basically asking us to let OJ find the real killers. You know what I'm saying? And But this is where, like, Michelle Obama is kind of full of it. And you know this is true. When Biden announced he was resigning via fax, nothing weird about it, okay? Obama tweeted that they were looking forward to an open primary where they'd pick a nominee. And I know that to be relevant to this story because you could see that Michelle Obama isn't trying. Like, she accused Trump in that same speech of avoiding interviews. On the same night he did a 3-hour interview. That's like accusing Chris Christie of avoiding pizza. You know what I mean? But you can tell when she campaigns for Kamala, she looks like a bridesmaid giving a toast on her friend's 5th wedding.
Right.
Like, she knows this is a bad idea, and no one gives a The only thing she's missing is a Cosmo and the hiccups. Like, please.
I hate hiccups.
It's the worst.
I don't get them anymore. Isn't that weird? But that's a story for another time. You freaks. Up next, at what age should trick-or-treaters turn the page?
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.